Future trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Welcome to Grain Gab, a show where we sit back, kind of digest these markets and just what's going on with them and how it affects you, the producer, and just what to do about it. I'm Lori Nelson, your host, and with me today live is Kristin Stien. So we're gearing up for another winter producer meeting here in Clive. We do another one.
Two for us. We've had more throughout the company, but we're here in Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
headed down to Missouri tomorrow. So
tomorrow we'll be in Marshall. And if we're adding to our calendar, we'll be at the Ag Power Show in Des Moines, first part of February. So make sure you stop by and see us.
We might have a good something in the cup at that point.
Oh, I almost forgot what's in the cup.
What is in your cup?
Where is your cup
today?
Or over
in the crazy hotel room that we just we need hydration in the morning. Just get it going again. Right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So this past month, the markets have been.
I have a gray hair coming in off of them.
Fine.
Yeah. Name 2025, like December 24, January 25 gray hair.
Yes.
I got one named December 2020. We're really kind of COVID into pandemic fallout. And then we have another one called derecho, then another one called funds in China buying. I mean, there's a lot of gray hairs based off markets. We gotta work on this piece of it for sure.
Yeah, so we had a bit of a surprise in the last report on January 10th, which we came at 1.5 billion bushel carryout on corn.
That's quite a bit of a change from the 2 billion bushels that we've been talking about for a long time.
Yeah, and they lowered yield, so it's given the market a little bit of power to move forward. In the old crop, it's moved up. And the new crop, it's kind of been just a stubborn little byproduct, as Jim Matthews would say. But December did this morning cross over 460, so that had been a super resistant number to us. What else, Kristin?
I mean, South America harvest is about to start. They're kind of slower there right now. There's 45Z tax credits kind of being released, but we don't really know everything that's going on yet. Just a lot of different things going on. And for being the winter time frame, this is actually a lot of news, comparatively speaking.
Yeah. And the funds, if we want to talk about the funds.
And a new president. Officially. Kind of missed the big elephant in the room that way. So there's a lot of changes that could be coming along when it comes to grain markets on that piece as well. Orange Man is back in town. I mean, his policies are as well. I think there's going to be some differences compared to his first presidency. So there's a lot of questions around what's going to happen with that as well.
Yeah. And as you know, we mentioned the funds. For some reason, I just want to talk about the funds today.
Okay. The managed money. Are you a part of that group?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So, corn's up over 300,000 long on contracts. They usually don't step much more over 400,000 long or short. So, okay, how much more are they going to go into their long positions? Soybeans now are about 50,000 contracts long.
So let's kind of break that down, right? Because sometimes the terminology can get a little confusing. We're talking about bullish, bearish, short, long, like what does all this mean, right? And the funds, right? So managed money are basically your group of people that speculate. It may be in your 401k, your IRA, whatever it may be, that there's an asset class called commodities. And so these people basically pull a bunch of the different outside money in and they can trade based off of whatever their bias is. And so this is something that we watch really, really carefully because they can be known to be market movers. If they all come into the market, it can sway the market, right? So take that comparison of 2020, the first set of gray hairs that I have compared to this year. Okay, when funds are short, that means they have their net positions, they have sold the board.
Yes.
Okay, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They have sold positions, meaning that they think this thing is going to go down. If they were to lift out of those positions and say, hey, I'm not completely convinced of this anymore, and they start to buy, buyers start to pull that market up. If they are long, that means their net positions, they have bought this market, thinking that this market's going to go higher. And so when we start talking about, usually they typically get to 300, max 400,000 contracts long. That's usually the most amount of money or risk they're willing to put into that market. And so the fact that we've got just a little bit more of a positioning that they could go if they decide to, starts to have this feel of, well, when do they decide to get out of those long positions, aka sell the board, because that could start to put a lot of pressure on this market.
down. Yeah. So what have we been doing?
Well,
with
and
producers.
kind of back to that, the interesting part about 2020 versus 2024, 25 is when we went from net short 200, 300,000 contracts to net long to 300,000 contracts. Back in 2020, this corn market was able to rally $4, right? And so that's why we are like, okay, this is a big deal when they start to move their positions. Fast forward to this year, and from when they started exiting their short positions to now where they're at, net 300,000 contracts or just shy of there, we've added $1, right? So that's how much selling pressure has been combined with their net position change. And there's a lot of different reasons they've had this change, right? I mean, and a lot of the reasons we just went through, from exports, from ethanol, the demand side being strong, lightening up that yield, watching South American weather. There's always that risk premium in there. That's why they were exiting out of that short position. Now it's, when are they going to exit out the long position?
Right.
So keep that in mind.
Taking advantage of these price moves and getting old crop bushels priced, participating in new crop, getting new crop priced. And when you just start looking at that nearby corn futures versus the historical, it's a good time to be selling.
Oh, yeah.
So don't miss this opportunity in the market.
Yeah, you want to be selling when the funds are selling, right? And so they're getting close to the spot where they're really going to have to take a consideration, especially from a new crop perspective. If we get a mountain of acres planted because that bean to corn ratio is so low, there's going to be a lot of pressure to go with that, especially if we have a good spring into summer timeframe. So take advantage of opportunities that are given you.
Right. So you take a look at rule number 10. How do you define your success? Your success should be based on your numbers, your operation, and not your neighbor's operation.
Bingo. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys are producers. You came to, your job is to sell the grain, not grow the crop and then hold on to it forever or think of what could or should have been or anything along those lines. The goal is to hit those profit numbers. And so on old crop, kind of reevaluate, how many bushels do I have to sell? What was my yield? What were my expenses? And does that hit my profit goals? Don't be looking at, okay, how much farther could this thing go? Or what did my neighbor get for it? Or anything along those lines. Same can be said for new crop, right? Stay focused on that profit goal, because at the end of the day, nobody knows how emotional this market is going to get, or when the funds are going to decide to exit their long positions, or when the selling pressure is really going to ensue by the second leg of producer selling, whatever that may be, right? So make sure that you're honing in on your specific number and staying laser focused on that.
Laser focused. Okay. What do you got for me today, Kristin?
The good old questions for humans, Lori.
Okay.
As per usual.
Okay. Get after.
So question numero uno is, what are you 100% convinced it is a scam?
What am I convinced it's 100% a scam?
Yeah.
When my phone rings and I don't know the phone number.
Oh, so if I get a new phone number, you're just never going to answer.
Leave a message.
Paige, can we insert her phone number right at the bottom of the screen here? Just everybody blow her phone up right now. Personal number too. Where does your information come from that it's a scam? How do you know?
You don't. You
Here.
don't know.
I know, it could be like an angel calling, Lori. Come on.
Could be.
Could be. All right. This one's a little bit more appropriate for today,
With everything we've had going on today.
specifically.
Okay.
Who in the room, because it's not just us, is most likely to become famous?
Jenny.
Jenny.
Jenny Berger.
Enter
Jenny Berger.
Jenny. Why?
Ah,
She's kind of a big deal.
well, it's just kind of a big deal.
Okay.
She does a lot of public work when she's off work, in the public that way. So I just
Kind of
think
got that public look about her.
could
Fair
be
enough.
famous.
Not Mr. John over here. Right?
What
Sorry,
about
Jan,
John?
that's a face for publicity. Come on. You're killing me, Smalls. All right. Fair enough. That's all.
All right.
That's all I got for
Okay.
questions.
Well,
today.
thanks for joining us today on Grain Gab. If you like what you see, hit the like button down below. It really helps our algorithms. Until next time, chin up. Don't be afraid to hit the sell button. Take care.
Cheers.